Classes that have 2 DPS paragon paths are so counterproductive. It's like having a GPS that gives you 2 routes to the same destination. One just takes the scenic route through Confusionville and the other meanders through Baphomeberg. Roll it. Welcome back, and I'm diving right in and not even wasting a single second. The existence of dual DPS paragon paths for some classes is like realizing that you have 2 identical keys that open the same door.
Yes, I'm the keymaker. I've been waiting for you.
I'm surprised I never thought of it before, but why are we doubling down on the same flavor? 3 classes have dual DPS paragon paths: the Ranger class with Warden and Hunter, the Wizard with Arcanist and Thaumaturge, and the Rogue with Assassin and Whisper Knife. Essentially, it's 2 paths doing the same exact thing, dealing damage. Unlike classes with distinct dual roles like tanking or healing, having 2 paths for pure damage creates a dilemma. When both paths offer the same thing, players naturally gravitate towards the one that deals more damage, and balancing them equally is nearly impossible, leading to a perpetual cycle of players favoring the stronger path, which is very normal. That raises questions about which path should be superior and the challenges of maintaining balance without rendering the previous favored path less effective. It literally becomes a loop where buffing one path prompts calls for buffs from the other, and it's a never-ending cycle. So currently there are some adjustments being made to Whisper Knife to make it more competitive. However, if it ends up outperforming the Assassin, then there might be a push from the opposite side to buff Assassins to keep up. And if that happens, then the Whisper Knife might seek more buffs to match up with the Assassins, creating a cycle with no clear resolution in sight, just going on and on and on forever. In a utopian gaming universe, you'd expect each paragon path to bring its own unique spice to the DPS potluck, but alas, we find ourselves in a scenario where both paths are like chefs cooking the same lasagna recipe, but using 2 different aprons, and there is definitely no point in serving the same dish on different plates. In D&D Neverwinter's illustrious ancestor, subclasses provide a way to have a distinctly different experiences. Rogues might be a super sneaky cat burglar able to pick any lock, or infiltrate any hidden vault, or an assassin that acts from the shadows and disappears without a trace. A ranger could be a warrior with a bow, focused on the martial arts, or a hunter adept at traps and tracking prey. The different schools of spells allow wizards to be very different from each other. Maybe what we really have is a failure in translation from the theater of the mind of D&D to the action of an MMORPG. So what needs to be done? Ultimately, the challenge lies in finding a solution that promotes diversity within the classes while avoiding a continuous cycle of buffs and drastic adjustments. The problem with these dual DPS paragon paths as they stand currently is one will almost always overshadow the other, even in players' perceptions, even if the differences are minimal. An unending cycle of buffs and nerfs for one path or the other over time is not a sustainable solution. It will cause meta chasers to have fits when they feel their investment is wasted, and leave devotees disappointed when their favorite path falls from favor. Rather than falling into this cycle, a more strategic approach involving assigning distinct traits to each path might be the better option. For example, if Whisper Knife excels in widespread AoE damage, the Assassin could specialize in single target damage or vice versa. Another option could be for one path to focus on effective debuffing with a moderate damage output, while the other emphasizes delivering raw damage power with a moderate debuffing output. This way, each path maintains its unique strengths, providing players the flexibility to choose based on their playstyle or adapt to the diverse challenges within the game without worrying that their chosen path is subpar and underperforming. Personally, as I mentioned earlier, the idea of classes with 2 paths that essentially perform the same function seems completely counterproductive to me, especially if one consistently outshines the other. So what's the end goal here? Is it to make Whisper Knife better than Assassin, or bring them to equal footing? Will Warden ever see a buff? And if it does, will it surpass the Hunter? If Thaumaturge becomes superior to Arcanist, does that mean we'll have to buff Arcanist again? It's like 3 classes with dual personalities constantly vying for superiority. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Split?
I can't steal a life for too long or he'll know and get angry, etc.
I believe there's room to deviate from this and inject some uniqueness into the paragon paths of these 3 classes, allowing each of them to shine in their own way, instead of being caught in this ongoing struggle between the 2 paths that essentially do the same thing. Instead of 2 types of lasagna, let's have 2 different pasta dishes, pasticcio and carbonara. And as always, these are just thoughts and notions that probably won't ever see the light of day. It's not like Cryptic is sitting on the edge of their seat, eagerly awaiting my ideas to turn them into reality. Yeah, that never happens. Although I do believe some of my suggestions could benefit them. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, agree, disagree, or toss in more ideas. But for now, I've got to sign off. Christmas is approaching and I still need to grab my holiday season glow-in-the-dark condoms. Yeah, I just said that. Peace.